Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So as we predicted, dealers are already deploying those fear-mongering tactics to try to get you to come into a dealership and make an impulse vehicle purchase. In today's video, I'm going to spotlight those dealer tactics to be on the lookout for, and we'll wrap up with discussing what I firmly believe is to come of the car market as we wrap up 2025, so stick with me. Let me open with perhaps the most important bit. If you take anything from this video, I want you to know that you should not be fooled into coming out and buying a vehicle right now. A lot of dealerships are just licking their chops trying to take advantage of you and take advantage of the news headlines that everybody is seeing right now. It's the whole fear-mongering concept. I firmly believe that we will not see much of a hike at all when it comes to vehicle prices within the United States. Vehicle manufacturers simply do not have the luxury. We're seeing unprecedented inventory levels, and supply has far exceeded demand as is. As is, the prices are far out of touch with reality. So vehicle manufacturers do not have the luxury to hike up prices at all. They can only go one way, and that's down if they want to move their inventory. We're already seeing pros and cons of these tariffs just after a week of implementation, really. Number one, we've seen the largest dip in the stock market at large since March of 2020. Good and bad there. Obviously, for people who are stock trading, there's goodness and opportunity there, but generally what follows a drop? A nice spike upward, and generally speaking, lower interest rates. So that's often a byproduct of that. So there is going to be good and bad of it. The goodness is not going to happen overnight. We've already seen a few vehicle manufacturers already come out and say that they will be increasing the level of production coming out of the United States. Obviously, that's the primary goal. Primary intent is to bring that manufacturing and that industrial strength back to the United States. You know, that's a piece of the equation, and we're already seeing it. So good and bad, of course, right out of the gate. And for whatever it's worth, I do have a friend who works in auto manufacturing here in the States, and he confidently tells me that most assembly plants and manufacturing plants are about 60 to 70% capacity right now as it is. So there is room for expansion without spending a ton of money on infrastructure and building out more plants. So right now we do have an opportunity to bring back a lot more of that manufacturing with existing infrastructure. And as many of you have already seen from the other day, Ford is now offering employee pricing for all Americans, the whole From America for America campaign. So I do foresee us seeing a lot more of that as we teeter deeper into 2025. Like I said, vehicle manufacturers and dealerships alike don't have the luxury to hike up prices, but rather they need to drop it if they're going to move the already overflowing 2024 inventory still on the lots. And you don't have to take it from me. Go walk your local dealership lot. Go check out the window stickers of many of the vehicles that are just lined upon line on that lot. You're going to see so many 2024 units still. It's already April 2025, and I would argue that the vast majority of those vehicles on that lot are 2024 units. Now, dealers were able to take advantage of you and I, the consumer, during the pandemic because supply was very low, right? And demand was much higher than that supply. It's Economics 101, right? But now, well, that's totally flipped. Supply has far exceeded demand, so they don't get the luxury to hike up prices one bit if they want to try to sell their inventory. That would be foolish of them to do. So what do you need to be on the lookout for? So real quickly, I'm going to read this to you guys. This is what you're going to see from so many dealerships, I assure you. So just be on the lookout for it. It's a greedy tactic. So this is from a BMW dealership, which ironically enough, BMW as a company has already come out and said that they will not be hiking prices up due to these tariffs. But you still have their dealerships within the United States deploying tactics like this. They say a proposed 25% tariff on imported vehicles and parts is highly likely to take effect in the coming days. If passed, it could raise the price of your average $50,000 car to over $62,000, and that's before taxes and fees. This won't just affect new vehicles. Pre-owned vehicles and even service costs may go up due to the increase in imported parts cost. While it's not guaranteed, all signs point to this becoming a reality. If you've been considering a move, now is the time. Lock into current pricing before the shift hits. So that's a prime example of fear-mongering. Don't fall victim to that nonsense. So I encourage you, keep your ear to the ground and pay attention to the dealerships trying to deploy those tactics. I assure you, the same exact dealerships that were very quick to try to slap you with a markup over MSRP throughout the pandemic, those are the same dealers trying to quickly deploy tactics like that. Fear-mongering tactics to get you to come out and buy your pre-tariff vehicle. Kind of pathetic. So just pay attention. The dealers that are out there really trying to maximize your savings and still offer large discounts and incentivize interest rates, all the while not beating the drum on the whole tariff talk, those are the dealers that you want to work with right now. The dealers that are just leaning into it and leading into the headlines, well, those are the ones trying to line their pocketbooks. It's a very nearsighted business model. The dealers that are not leaning into that, the ones that are just still continuing to push these large discounts, those are the dealers with the long, big picture in mind, that long-term effect in mind. They want those returning customers, those loyal customers to come back to the dealership, and those are the dealers that you want to work with. This truly will serve as a prime opportunity for so many dealers to show their true colors, right? Did they learn their lesson throughout the pandemic, or are they going to fall victim to that greed again? Many of them deployed that nearsighted business model before and ultimately lost so many of their loyal returning customers who had been coming to that dealership for years, sometimes decades with their family. But all for the sake of lining their pockets with a markup of some sort, they flicked those loyal customers to the wind. And well, those loyal customers did not come back, and they will not come back. So here's another opportunity. Are they going to lean into the fear mongering of these tariffs, or are they going to try to avoid that and still maximize the deals that they offer customers? Although I do believe we are going to see this tit for tat, reciprocated and retaliatory tariffs for the next few months, I do firmly believe it's going to be very short-lived. Many of these other countries, to include China, what do they need? They need the United States a lot more than what we need them, and let's face it, and they know that too. But they're going to beat their chest, and there's going to be some trade saber rattling, if you will, for lack of better terms. That's going to be taking place, but I do firmly believe it is going to be short-lived. So all that to say, don't believe the hype. The dealerships that don't lean in to the fear-mongering, the dealerships that actually show a level of compassion, those are the dealerships that are going to win the game. So I do firmly believe, and this is not just wishful thinking, but when you look at the stats, facts, and figures, it all points to one direction, and that is vehicle manufacturers do not have the luxury to hike up prices at all right now. None whatsoever, unless they want to commit company suicide. Let's face it, okay? Because right now, Americans are struggling to make ends meet in general, with the cost of living in general. We have 6.1 million Americans that are behind on their mortgage right now, and that's the highest in over 20 years. Last year, we saw a 23% increase in the number of repossessions. We are currently seeing unprecedented levels of 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day auto loan delinquencies. People cannot keep up as is. And when you tie that with cost of insurance over doubling in the last 2.5 years across the board, insurance premiums, the cost of groceries, you name it, people just cannot keep up. So, vehicle manufacturers, you do not get the luxury to hike up prices anymore. Otherwise, well, it's going to be collecting dust for many, many months. And I would argue that From America for America campaign by Ford, the employee pricing, is a last-ditch effort to try to sell their unsold 2024 units sitting collecting dust on dealership lots. Go walk any Ford dealership right now, and you're going to see just lines upon lines of unsold 2024 models. Although it's not totally uncommon to have 2024 units still on dealership lots, the level of which we are seeing that right now is certainly unprecedented. I would still argue that we're going to see that as we teeter far deeper into 2025. Toward the end of the year, you're still going to have just dozens upon dozens of unsold 24s at your local lot. A lot of analysts out there believe that we will see a 7% MSRP price increase between now and this time next year if we don't see those tariffs reeled back in. Now, if that were to take place, in my personal opinion, we are still going to see that vehicle manufacturer eat the remaining 18% of those tariffs being added on. What is that 18% of eating going to look like by the vehicle manufacturer? Unfortunately, I believe that is going to mean lessen quality. They're going to cut more corners and lessen the quality even more so than they already have throughout the recent years in giving us a lesser quality product, all for that same price tag. You know, that 7% increase, but a decreased quality vehicle ultimately, which is pretty sad to say. And it didn't take long for Stellantis to join Ford in offering employee pricing for everyone within the United States. And Stellantis in particular, it makes the most sense. When you look at their average days on lot time, whether it's the Ram, whether it's Jeep Wranglers, Gladiators, you name it, their Cherokee, they are not selling. Many of them are over a year of average lot time. So you could already expect a pretty good deal on them, but this really just goes one step further, really as a last-ditch effort to move that metal. It is quite comical that during a time where we are expecting prices to go up, vehicle manufacturers are doing the opposite. They're offering these larger discounts, employee pricing for everyone. You know, that is going to continue because we need to make that demand match the supply levels, which we're far off right now. So I'll wrap up the video there, guys. Do not fall victim to these greedy dealership tactics to try to get you in to buy your pre-tariff vehicle. Do not fall victim to it, please. And let your friends and family know. You know, maybe your friends and family who don't watch YouTube or don't do any kind of research or homework on this stuff, but rather just look at the headlines on the news and say, oh gosh, I got to head out and buy a vehicle. Help educate them. Don't let them fall victim to it, because There will be a lot of sleazy dealerships trying to deploy those tactics right now. So let me know what your thoughts are. And as always, I do sincerely appreciate you taking the time to tune in these videos. It means a lot, and it certainly doesn't go unnoticed. If you found any value in this whatsoever, I do respectfully request that you please consider liking and subscribing. Your support means a lot. Until next time.